क्या हमारे समाज में पुलिस की वाकई ज़रूरत है? क्या हम पुलिस को डू अवे विद नहीं कर सकते? क्या पुलिस इतनी इंडिस्पेंसिबल है कि हमें पुलिस की ज़रूरत ही ज़रूरत है? हाँ, ये बात वाज़ेह है कि पुलिस की इमेज कोई बहुत अच्छी नहीं है और मैं बतौर पुलिस ऑफिसर ये बात एडमिट भी करता हूँ। और हमने अपनी पुलिस लाइफ में तकरीबन 35 साल जिसमें बिताए हैं उसमें कोशिश भी की कि काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट आए, लेकिन आहिस्ता आहिस्ता समय लगता है। हम लोग अभी वही कॉलोनियल ढर्रा जो है उसको लेके चले हुए हैं। वेलकम शीलू सिंह। और उस कॉलोनियल जो बोझा है उसको ढो रहे हैं और उसी तरह की पुलिसिंग हम अपने स्वतंत्र भारत के नागरिकों को भी दे रहे हैं जो किसी ज़माने में अंग्रेज़ डंडे के बल पे दिया करता था। एनीवे, ये आज का जो टॉपिक है कि कैन वी रियली गिव इट अ ट्राई टू डिसबैंड द पुलिस। अब ये मुद्दा कहाँ से उठा है कि पुलिस की ज़रूरत है या नहीं, इसकी थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड में जाना ज़रूरी है। और थोड़ा नहीं, मेरे ख्याल में ज़्यादा जिक्र हमें करना होगा उसका, क्योंकि ये शुरुआत एटलीस्ट वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में वहीं से शुरू हुई है। मनदीप, हाउ आर यू डूइंग? वेलकम। और आपने अभी किस्सा सुना होगा, कोई 10-15 रोज़ पहले अमेरिका में एक हादसा हुआ था और हादसा ये था कि जॉर्ज फ्लॉयड नाम के एक काले व्यक्ति को, जो अफ्रीकन अमेरिकन था, उसको एक वाइट पुलिस वाले ने, शॉमन उसका नाम था, उसने एक $20 की एलिजेड फेकिंग ऑफ करेंसी नोट पे उसको पकड़ा शिकायत पे और उसको अपने घुटनों के नीचे 8 मिनट 46 सेकंड तक दबाए रखा और उसके हाथ जबकि हथकड़ी में पीछे बंधे हुए थे। ये अमेरिका में इस तरह का पहला वाकया नहीं है। पहले भी इस तरह के जो है वो ब्लैक्स के ऊपर वाइट पुलिसमैन के बहुत ज़्यादा दुराचार के और एट्रोसिटीज़ के, प्रोसिक्यूशन के मामलात जो है वो सामने आए और हमेशा ही कोई ना कोई उसके बाद उपद्रव हुआ है, सिविल अनरेस्ट हुआ है। लोग बाग, they have risen up in arms and they have taken on the government and establishment and authorities to not only press for their rightful demands of being treated with dignity and all that stuff, but then to bring about changes not only in the law but in the general outlook of police so far as the African blacks, African Americans are concerned. So ये जब जॉर्ज फ्लॉयड की एक किस्म से हत्या हुई, वहाँ हत्या ही कहा जा रहा है और है भी ये हत्या ही, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है, क्योंकि जिन 4 ऑफिसर्स को गिरफ्तार किया गया है उनमें से 2 के खिलाफ मैन स्लॉटर का यानी मर्डर का इल्ज़ाम है। अब यहाँ से ये बात जो है, जब सारे अमेरिका के तकरीबन 35-40 शहरों में ये आग भड़की और हर जगह उपद्रव होने लगे और प्रोटेस्ट्स हुए, एंड 2 नारे निकल के आए, आई कांट ब्रीथ एंड ब्लैक लाइव्स मैटर। इसका मतलब ये है कि सोसाइटी जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं झुंझलाहट महसूस कर रही है कि ये जो गोरे लोगों का अपार्थाइड और जो काले लोगों के प्रति बायसेस हैं, प्रेजुडिसेस हैं, वो ख़त्म होने चाहिए। इस तरह की मंशा को चलते हुए देखते हुए, हालांकि फेडरल लॉ अमेरिका का डिफरेंट है और जो स्टेट्स के अपने अपने लॉस हैं, सो वहाँ से ये बात शुरू हुई और मिनियापोलिस नाम की एक जगह है जहाँ ये हादसा हुआ था। उस सिटी के, मिनियापोलिस की सिटी काउंसिल के 13 में से 9 सदस्यों ने ये कह दिया कि लेट अस डिसबैंड द पुलिस, लेट अस डिफंड द पुलिस, लेट अस डू अवे विद द पुलिस और हम अपना काम अपने आप कर लेंगे और हम देखेंगे कि हम अपनी पुलिस व्यवस्था हम खुद सुधार सकते हैं। इस तरह का एक जो है वो 134 पेज का रेजोल्यूशन लाया गया कि वी डोंट नीड पुलिस। जब ये नारा दिया गया कि वी विल डिसबैंड द पुलिस, डिफंड द पुलिस। तो चारों ओर एक और बेचैनी ये हुई कि डिसबैंडिंग और डिफंडिंग का क्या मतलब है। अब डिफंडिंग का मतलब जो है वो ये नहीं है कि पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट को खत्म कर दिया जाए वहां की सोच के मुताबिक, लेकिन इतना जरूर है कि पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट के जितने भी फंड्स हैं, विकास शर्मा गुड मॉर्निंग वेलकम, जितने भी फंड्स हैं उनको पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट को न दे के कहीं और डाइवर्ट कर दिया जाए। और वो कहाँ डाइवर्ट कर दिया जाए, वो प्रोग्राम्स पे डाइवर्ट कर दिया जाए। शकुंतला शकुन वेलकम। जो पुलिस से लेके प्रोग्राम्स तक की दूरी है वो ये लोग सफर करना चाहते हैं। और प्रोग्राम्स क्या है, प्रोग्राम्स जो है वो एजुकेशन के हैं, प्रोग्राम्स जो है वो अवेयरनेस के हैं, और प्रोग्राम्स जो है वो अपनी खुद की सिक्योरिटी बढ़ाने के हैं, इस तरह से। और न्यूयॉर्क के भी मेयर ने इस बात की ताकीद की है कि वो भी शायद कुछ फंड्स को ट्रांसफर करेंगे पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट से। तो मुद्दा ये नहीं है कि कंप्लीटली पुलिस को खत्म कर दिया जाए। हालांकि हार्डकोर थिंकिंग जो मिनियापोलिस के 9 सिटी काउंसलर्स हैं उनकी तो यही है, लेकिन जो पूरे अमेरिका की नब्ज है वो अगर फील किया जाए तो उसका फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर, उसका निज़ाम अलग है और स्टेट्स का अलग है। अब एक बात इससे और उभर के आती है, हम अपने देश में भी आएंगे, थोड़ी देर में यहाँ की भी बात करूंगा। अभी जहां से शुरुआत हुई है बात, वहां की बात करता हूं। हम लोगों को देखना ये होगा कि हम लोग अगर पुलिस को नहीं चाहते कि पुलिस आसपास हो, सिपाही कहीं आसपास खड़ा हो, तो उसके लिए हमें ये देखना पड़ेगा कि हम पुलिस के ऊपर कितने एतबार करते हैं, कितना रिलाय करते हैं, कितना डिपेंड करते हैं, और कितना हम पुलिस से तवक्को रखते हैं, एक्सपेक्टेशंस रखते हैं। ये एक्सपेक्टेशंस मैं आपको एक जाती अनुभव बताऊं। आई वाज एन ऑफिसर अंडर ट्रेनिंग इन द ईयर 1983-84 एंड हम लोगों को एक ट्रेनिंग करनी होती है एसएचओशिप की, चाहे आप किसी भी रैंक पे भर्ती हो। तो मैं अपनी एसएचओशिप जब कर रहा था तो मेरे पास एक बार कोई 9 साढ़े 9 बजे फोन आया, और पंजाबी में एक किसान जो है वो ये कहने लगा कि जी तुसी मेरी मदद करो, मेरी मज्जी जड़ी है वो डिग पई है उत्थे अपना नहर दे च। So means my buffalo has fallen in the canal and you please come and restore my buffalo to me. Ritu Kumar, thanks for watching, welcome. So when this man expected the police SHO to be helping him out, I was almost enraged, and I thought, is it the job of the police to restore buffaloes of people? Really? So next day I met my senior and I told him, sir, is this the police job? Well, there was some kind of a pause somewhere, and my senior officer, he said, yes, it's your job. Now I was sort of bamboozled and flabbergasted as to I was recruited in the police department to serve people in a different manner, but I was not supposed to be restoring buffaloes to farmers. Anyway, but he told me the home truth. And the home truth was that, see, nobody is going to be approached in distress. Anita Goyat, thanks for watching. Nobody is going to be, approached for some kind of a distress. If something wrong happens, nobody calls out, Patwari ji, meri madad karo, ya BDO sahab, meri madad karo. They will always look for somebody who is deliverable, और जो आदमी डिलीवर कर सकता है उस पे ही नजर जाएगी और उसी से तवक्को रहती है और उसी से एक्सपेक्टेशंस होती है. सो हाउ मच वी डिपेंड ऑन द पुलिस, हाउ मच वी रिलाई ऑन द पुलिस, this is an important question to be addressed before wanting the police away or wishing the police away. Now, coming to our own context, Indian context, I have seen, you have all seen that if there is a passing train or if the train is not, on the crossing and it's just about to approach the crossing, people lift the bars, literally raise the bar and would go from under it, taking their bikes and bicycles and whatnot, and even crossing over on foot. and not giving two hoots to the approaching train. So this is the kind of scenario that even despite the railway gate being closed, we have a tendency to gate crash. And this is not something typical to India only. In fact, if you don't find any constable standing there on the red lights, you tend to jump them, and you would wouldn't mind creating a mess there. If only there is a constable standing there, we behave. Otherwise, it's just free for all. Likewise, I have seen traveling through the Western world that if a cop's car is going on the highway, there are about 50-60 cars trailing behind him and nobody takes him over. Only because the cop might give them a ticket. So what you fear is the physical presence of the cop and not the fear of the law. That is the issue when it comes to wishing away the police department or doing away with it. So we have to analyze as to how much do we depend for our routine security, safety needs on the police. And in America there was something which was earlier also tried. This was presently they call it neighborhood watch, which is also prevalent in places like Singapore, etc. Neighborhood watch means that your community has an eye. They keep an eye on the streets and they keep an eye on any intruders, any strangers visiting the neighborhood. Or somebody goes for 15 days holiday, so his immediate neighbor takes care of his house and property and all that stuff. But although it's been a success in many places, and 90% it's met with success. Not that you become police officers yourselves in neighborhood watch schemes, but you have to have a battery of people, civilians only, who are instrumental in overseeing the things. And if there is anything noticed which is not to be tackled by them but the authorities themselves, so they'll inform the authorities and they'll inform the local police for it to be taken care of. Now it depends on these societies. The risk here is in the neighborhood watch sometimes the things go out of control, and America has witnessed even vigilantism. Vigilantism is a situation when you think that when you have a firm belief that whatever happens, the authorities, the police, they are not going to help us out. So you take up arms yourself and you start adjudicating things, and you generally are seen as being violent. Now, these neighborhood watch schemes, how much of persuasion and intervention a civilized society would allow? Now, there are different crime patterns all the world over. For example, if I am living closer to Yamuna banks, my village is suppose closer to Yamuna banks, and my living comes out of the illegal trade of sand mining. So I would be a party to this illegal activity. This is a kind of crime which is a collective crime. For example, if I am closer to a state where there is prohibition, where liquor is not sold, but I allow in my fields, which is on the borders, to have the liquor brewed and sell it elsewhere. So sometimes the local interests, they also contribute in making the crime and criminality obtained with such an happenstance. Now, coming back to the issue of American scenario, whether we want to have the police or we don't want to have the police, a core issue should be to approach such a thing with decriminalizing certain petty crimes. Now, for all the crimes that are committed under the Indian Penal Code, most of them, many of them, in fact all of them, need a formal arrest to be made in any kind of a criminal indulgence wherever you are found wanting. So decriminalize certain petty crimes and spare the police other jobs. Police is already overburdened with arrests, arresting procedures, taking the man in custody. Ramnik, or good morning, thank you for watching. Taking the man in custody, producing him to the magistrate before the trial court, being through with the trial, and ultimately, if at all this man is jailed, put him in the jail. So in the entire process, the policeman is involved. So have the crimes legislated in a way that these petty crimes do not require arrest at all, and it can be a straight trial begun in a court of law. Let the magistrate decide as to if the misdemeanor of the person accused deserves he being incarcerated, put in jail, etc., etc. So, for example, I have seen in many places wherever I have remained SP or IG or Commissioner, I have seen that, for example, a Satta operator, he is found with say 70-80 rupees in his hands, and he is found to be operating Satta in a lane in some city, and this man is arrested, got medically examined, produced before a magistrate. He has to spend one night in the lockup, and the next day maybe the court enlarges him on personal bond or bail bond or whatever. So entire exercise of the arrest of a person who had committed a very small crime, which could be taken care of otherwise by awareness, by government resorting to many other techniques. So decriminalize these petty crimes, and they can. There was a there was an initiative sometime back taken when I was in the bureau. I was in the Bureau of Police Research and Development, and even till late, it was felt that the arresting power of the police has to go. Now, if the arresting power of the police goes, and there is a straight trial beginning in a court of law, so there is no harm. If there are no very serious crimes like dacoity, like murder, like arsoning, like rapes, and things like that, like waging war against the government of India or the establishment. So in such cases, definitely a trial can, definitely a person will have to be contained, will have to be arrested, will have to be put through procedures of remand and questioning, etc., etc. But then for petty crimes, for example, in a family dispute, even if it's a dowry case, or I'm trying to hard sell something, even if it's a dowry case, and you find that the arrest is necessary, will it be some kind of a satisfaction for the girl if her husband spends 2 or 3 nights in the lockup, and her job is her predicament is compensated? No, it's not. It will be compensated only if the person is duly tried in a court of law, and if he is duly made to repay her in terms of agreeable terms, or if he has definitely committed something grave, so he must face incarceration and being jailed. Now, for such things, we have seen community liaison groups. Kohli, how are you, my friend? So we have seen community liaison groups being set up. When I was in the, it should be, there is no point talking about yourself only. But yes, very many SPs have done a good job in putting up, setting up, community liaison groups. These community liaison groups are there for alternate dispute resolution, and of course there are 1 or 2 police officers, women police officers present there, but the entire gathering of say about 15-20 citizens, they gather there and they address the issue, and mostly it is resolved within that counseling room itself. Now, again, coming to the issue of police, whether it is needed or not, the main issue that emerges now after George Floyd's case is of torture. How much of torture? Whether torture at all or not? What is third-degree torture? What is second degree torture? Third degree torture normally is there when you put psychological pressure and some kind of physical pressure also on a person accused, and it's a part of investigation, not part of investigation, but it is definitely carried out during investigations. So Meenakshi Dhul, thank you for watching. How much of torture I was talking about? Third degree torture is during investigations, and second degree is when you approach the human body of the body of the accused with some kind of screwdrivers or putting pressure, or like it happened in George Floyd's case, putting your knee with your hand shackled at your back on your neck, and then you are not allowed to breathe for 8 minutes 46 seconds. Now this bending of the knee has become symbolic of any kind of protest in the entire world. So, what kind of torture? Why should you indulge in torturing an accused? There are two scenarios. One is that you know that this person has committed crime, but he is not confessing. Now, in that situation, you indulge in what is called third degree methods. And if the police finds, Principal Sir, good morning, thanks for watching. If the police finds that this man is a hardcore criminal and he would not open up, or he would not tell you anything self-incriminating, and then you put pressure on him, you use third degree, second degree, and you elicit kind of confession. Now, when the forensic tools are there, when the scientific tools are there, if my voice can be proven to be mine only, if my blood can be proven to be my blood only, found somewhere, if my fingerprints can be compared to my fingerprints on a knife or a gun or a weapon of offense, so I should be squarely punished for that, and I should not be further subjected to any kind of torture, etc., etc. But the police does it, and there is a huge cry in the United States of America that you do away with the choke holding. Now, choke holding, what is choke holding? Choke holding is when you put your hands in shackles at the back, and you exercise pressure here on the neck, making breathing difficult. Now, we also have in India our own indigenous ways of torturing accused persons. The Supreme Court of India has come out after a certain case law that you have to have certain formalities completed before you make arrest of a person, put him in custody, or if he stays in your custody, you have to carry out these checks. And there is a tall list, and these requirements are even printed on huge boards before in front of the police stations and police chowkis, but seldom they are really addressed to. I have been an insider. I can share it with you all that yes, there have been crossing over and crossing the briefs and even indulging in torture despite all this, leaving no scope, no medical evidence for doctors to say that this man was tortured or not tortured. So there are ways and means to do it, and unfortunately these things are there in the police department. But thanks to the modern day training, they are giving more emphasis on forensic science and scientific evidence to corroborate the criminality in a person and to accordingly proceed for the trial. Now, torture again is related to arrest. Suppose the law says that if you want to arrest someone, you have to arrest him by word of mouth. Mr. So and so, you are under arrest. But still, if he doesn't surrender, then you have to use force. And how much force? Only as much force as the person accused is exercising on you. If he is running, you can run after him. You cannot shoot him You cannot shoot a person who is running with a wallet, stolen. So use as much force as is required to arrest a person. That is the law. But in America, the law is that if somebody takes out his pistol, it means that he is going to use the brutal force to contain an accused. But there are different, angles to that. Even in America, certain states, they have disallowed the police department, police vans to chase the cars in which the accused persons they are on the run, they escape. The fugitives are there, murderers are there, but there is no car chasing, because you are putting other road users to so much of risk if you are chasing those cars. Now, in the American context, I'll just wind up in 4 to 5 minutes. In the American context, the incident which has sparked off these protests is a specific one. Definitely, there was no indication of the breakdown of general machinery of law and order. There was no outside external aggression. There was nothing obtaining on the side of internal security. But it was just one incident. Well, one incident, if it is good enough to raise issues, and those issues which should be. For that interruption, there was a phone call. Now winding it up, I want to again bring out the same question, whether the police department is to be wound up, to be done away with, it should become dispensable. Well, in the Indian context, as on date, my dears, it is unthinkable. But yes, in the case of Minneapolis, if the city fathers, councillors, they think 9 out of 13 independently, objectively, not stirred up or not stirred up by a single incident, that yes, we are ready to have our own policing system, community-led safety models, then definitely give it a try. Why not? If you are civilized enough, if you can afford that there be no police around, if you can afford that, definitely it leaves a scope for the tactical squads and the army to chip in and to be roped in when there is armed conflict somewhere, when there is widespread violence somewhere. Then the community-led safety modules there may not work. But if in general times, if in the cool environments of day-to-day cohabitation, you want to give a try to police not being there, well, you must do it. But in the Indian context, we have to walk a very long distance, very long distance. Although there are modules being introduced for better community police liaison. There are community police oriented programs being launched. In Punjab, there is a full-fledged department, community liaison, police community liaison. Rajwinder, thank you for joining in Punjab and very many other places. I have in fact studied many police systems within the country. The Kerala police system of community watch in Hyderabad, it's something which is there, and even in Haryana and Delhi, I must appreciate that they have a very good police community approach in their policing systems. So this was just an idea that I thought I would share with you. If you have any questions, I'm here for another 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you very much for staying with me, and maybe next time I come up with something different. As I said in the beginning, for those of you who have joined later, I may appear on this platform once or twice a week, and and not only serious things that I'm going to talk about. Maybe I talk about my medals, maybe I talk about my short stories, maybe I talk about my ghazals and nazms, and maybe once in a while I'll sing a song for you. Maybe I read poems out of my poetry books. So this is going to be a wonderful face-to-face interaction with you all, although I can only read your comments and not see you, but it's a good satisfaction for me that I see you in my own eyes. This is the beauty of this procedure. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day. Thank you very much for staying with me. Yeah, you have talked about a minister of Haryana. It is very unfortunate, let me say it very clearly, very candidly and very frankly, and without fear or favor, that the police rule or the procedures, they do not allow a minister who is sitting minister in the government to visit, to carry out surprise checks in a police station. No, he is not supposed to. There was a minister in Punjab long back, 60s. He visited one of the police stations, and he was so feared he placed under suspension some of the police constables and head constables there. And he was held in so much of awe that the police officers, they had his picture put up in every police station. And later on, when the minister was gone, that picture was relegated to the rogues gallery. So there is a definite system of punishment and reward in the police department. There is a system of punishment. You have to be reported against. Then you are asked to explain. You are given a due notice. When you explain your position, and if it is not agreed to, there is a departmental action following. If the departmental action is confirmed against you that you have indulged in some kind of a misdemeanor, then definitely there is a punishment, provision for punishment. Maybe your one increment is stopped. Maybe your half the salary is stopped. Maybe you are placed under suspension. But there is nobody who is there to punish except the immediate senior of a police officer. The minister is at a very high pedestal. He cannot intervene. His job after the Home Secretary is for the person to file a mercy appeal to. Mercy appeals are filed before the DGP, then before the Home Secretary, and then maybe the Home Minister. So you are bypassing all the channels and coming down on the neck of a constable, and you wouldn't let him breathe. I'm happy you raised this question. Jai Hind.